This is episode 2 of What's Been Better. This week, we're talking about the importance of safe spaces and judgment-free zones. This year, we're going where we're celebrated, not where we're tolerated. If you've been here before, you know we cuss. And if you're new here, please get used to it. All right,
Hey.
Miss Lori.
What's going on?
Not much.
Good day to you.
The same to you, ma'am. The same to you.
Yes. So we're here at our episode 2. What has been better with you?
Okay. So I'm editing the episodes and learning new stuff, and we've gone to video now. So learning all of that has been a challenge.
I can imagine.
Let me say this first. Last year when we started this whole process, I was not comfortable in my own skin to be on camera. So I was like, automatically when we started this, I was like, we are audio only. I do not want to be on camera.
Right.
And then as I got more comfortable, then I wasn't comfortable asking for help to edit the audio. And I was like, I just got to learn it myself and do it myself.
Right.
Now it's, can we record in one shot? Can we not have any technical glitches? Can we do all these things? So finding a new platform and doing that at the beginning of this week has been what's been better, because it has been so easy to do this process. So I'm very grateful for it. We don't have a sponsorship or anything like that, so I'm not going to mention who we're recording with or anything like that, or what I use to edit. Not yet, but I love it. I absolutely
so
love
awesome.
So
That is so awesome. And what's interesting though, you remember when I asked you, should we use the other place? And just because of the time of day, and you were like, no, this is easier. I was like,
this is
oh,
easier.
right, because I'm trying to keep it from, like glitching and things like that. But when you said it was easier, listen, I want it to be easy peasy, honey.
Yes. I am grateful that you've always said, like, whatever we do, you're not going to stress about doing this show. And so this has been stress-free. It was some trial and error, but once I worked out the trial and error, I was like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing this. So
I just want everybody to know how much of I don't like to say a beast. You know how people say, oh, she's a beast. And like, words matter. Sylvia is not a beast, but she is awesome as shit. Like, she is the shit. Let me tell you. And then maybe not even saying the shit. I don't know. What the hell? She's awesome, damn it. Like, the way she goes in to do what she's doing is amazing.
Thank you.
I couldn't have a better partner, because the way you go behind the scenes to put it all together. Y'all, let me tell you, when you hear the good sound quality, you see how we show up in this space. This is Sylvia.
I appreciate you.
I just talk. Let me tell you, I don't know none of that other shit. I ain't even trying, because it would blow my mind, and I'm not trying to get my mind blown.
I appreciate you. You.
Just saying,
it is a labor of love.
I really appreciate it, and it's awesome, because she goes to great bounds to do the things that she's doing to get the product that is out here.
Yeah.
So thank you, honey.
Do the most was a person. It's still going to be me, and I'm still going to claim it. And I believe in this. So I want it to be as great as possible. And I want it to continue to get better. So yeah.
That's what's up.
But I appreciate you appreciating me. That makes me very happy.
A bouquet of flowers. What kind of flowers you like?
I like peonies. I like magnolias. I just like flowers. I just like potted flowers.
Yeah. We just gave you a magnolia
I appreciate
flower.
it.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Because I don't know about the other ones. I ain't never heard of them before.
Anyway, so what's been better for you, Lori?
Well, so it's interesting. We were just talking about planting and gardening and shit the other episode, and I told you I'm not gonna be gardening.
You did say it.
I
You
did.
did say it.
But how about my daughter got me a hydroponics system,
I love it.
for so now I have in the last day, I have
Mm,
planted some kale,
I love it.
some arugula, and cilantro.
I
But
love
it's in
it.
the kitchen. It ain't outside. It's in the kitchen
But
under a
maybe
hot ass light.
that's what you needed, though. Maybe that's what you needed because the one thing I said was like, it's a commitment. You got to get up. You got to go
Mhm.
outside. You don't want to stand
Mhm.
out there. You're going to forget the water. This is all in one and right
Uh,
there in your kitchen.
let me tell you how God is good. I'm
Yes.
not complaining at all. That's what's better. Like
I love it.
I had it in my soul to do. Like there was an inner desire,
Mhm.
but I wasn't trying to go outside and do all of the things.
I
So
know that's
all the
right.
things came inside and packaged itself up and said, "Just put a seed in me," and that's all I did.
I love it.
I'm
I
very
love it.
thankful. And all I had
Like,
to do is turn on a light.
maybe that's though like what you needed to just ease yourself back into
Mhm.
growing food because I really I really do believe everybody needs either an herb garden or they just need something that triggers like, I should take control of like the food
What
that I'm eating.
absolutely,
Yeah.
seriously. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't remember what show I was watching, but times are interesting these days, and it's
Mhm.
very important that we have food for ourselves and know how to grow it. So
Yeah.
just gonna say that. And so yes, that's been better for me. I'm very thankful that that was a manifestation of things. I
Yeah.
did say that I desired that and it just came. And
Mhm.
that's how many things are gonna come if we
Yeah.
just remember that we have the power to create.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Miss Sylvia, what we talking about today?
So I figured we'd stay in the vein or with our mini series here on objectives. But this year, you know, I want to feel as safe as possible.
Mhm.
And I think the thing I was telling my friend with the birthday party that the thing I'm going to work on the most is not judging
Okay.
myself, not judging others, because I was finding that especially when it came to something like COVID and
Right.
masking and vaccines and things like that, I was judging. I
Yeah.
was literally judging because I felt like it wasn't taken seriously. I felt like, it's affecting me if I'm in a space with somebody who chooses their own choices
Mhm.
or is passive about it or any I was judging and I was like, I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to do this, or how could they do that to themselves or anything like that. And I was like, it's not on me.
Mhm.
But um I think because I'm always so like everybody be better, everybody do better, let's be better together,
Mhm.
that's why I was thinking that.
Okay.
So,
So I'm going to question because in the questions I hope they produce on the other end as our viewers or our listeners as they hear your answers, hopefully it'll help them, right?
yeah.
So you said it's not on me. What does that
No.
mean?
So, I think for me what that means is not everybody's gonna do what I do.
Mhm.
Not everybody cares.
Mhm.
Um,
That's huge.
I think where I start, like, getting hesitant about all of it, though, is that it still affects me directly, indirectly, because if a person who is like, I'm not wearing a mask," or I don't care," or whatever, if I get sick from their choices, then it still does affect me. So it's like, no, it's not on me, but I have to be okay with still going out and doing whatever I feel like doing also.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I still have like for me, like what the safe space is like I still choose to keep like this barrier, this boundary up and away
Mhm.
from everyone because I just don't know. And
Right.
that unknown is technically still kind of dangerous,
I get it.
whether anybody wants to admit it or not. So it's like, yes, it's not on me, But w I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how to not be harshly judgmental about those choices towards everyone
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, and that's gonna take practice, and the more you focus on you. I mean, that might sound so
Yeah.
cliche. Focus on
No,
you.
it makes sense.
But what it boils down to is it's almost like walking on water. I think we talked about
Yeah.
this before. It's not believing it's kind of like a delusional space. Like to say it's
Yes.
delusional for you to go outside and think you're going to be free from germs, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But when you think about people who live to 100 and they ate pork all their life or they smoked all their lives and
Yes.
like they didn't give a shit about what other people were giving a shit about.
Mhm.
They just lived their lives.
Yeah.
And um they in a sense was like it wasn't that's not on me. What you do is not on me. I'm going to
Yeah.
live in this lane and this lane is going to work for me.
Yeah.
Now, some other people could smoke and then they die, right?
Right.
Which lets me know that it's not just about the smoking. It's about the thinking. It's
Mhm.
about what you think about because
Yeah.
what you think about, you bring about in your life.
Right.
And so
Right.
if we stay in our lane, because that's the only lane we really need to be staying in. We can't
Mhm.
stay in Sissy Lane and Jimmy Lane and Oscar Lane and Frida Lane. Like we can't stay in these people's lanes and then think our lane is going to be okay.
Right.
So you're
Right.
on to something, Sylvia, as you're saying, I have to just live my life. I can't be concerned about how they show up. I have to just take these steps out here and believe and hope for the best. I got to
Yeah.
hope that I'm going to be okay.
And it's not even necessarily just hoping that I'll be okay. It's that I have to know that I'll be okay, but it's also I have to not worry about if they're going to be okay.
That too. That
That's
too.
the key is like, this is what you're doing. This is the choice that you're making. In a full pandemic, this is the choice that you're making, but it don't have nothing to do with me because I can't convince you. I can't educate you. I can't make you listen to like guidelines or doctors or studies or data or nothing. I can't make you do that. Like, and it's just, it can't be on me to do
Right.
that.
Right. Well, how did you do that in the first place? Like, what was there that you were concerned about somebody else? Like,
Um, I think because it's like I know how my immune system is. I know like the sicknesses I've gotten from teaching in a school where people would still send their kids to school with a fever or a
mhm,
runny nose or whatever,
mhm,
and
mhm,
you just don't care about the next person. You
mhm,
literally don't. You know that this child is going to spread germs throughout a whole school, not
mhm,
even just in my classroom. And
mhm.
there I am now with strep, or there I am now with flu A or flu B or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Um, so I think from then I've always been like, yeah, people don't care about other people, and it scares me.
I
I
hear
think that's
you.
what it is. It's a fear. It's a literal fear of somebody else's choices are going to harm me.
Thank you. There it is. And I
Yeah.
could not tell you that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had to come upon that on your own.
Mhm.
And once you get it, now you get to decide because what we were talking about in the last episode, you have a choice. You
Yeah.
get to choose. Do I fear that what these people are doing are going to affect other people? Or can I believe just a little bit, which hope is in there somewhere too. But can
Yeah.
I believe with everything in me that they don't know? And because they don't know, that's why they're doing that. I do
Yeah.
know I'm going to do my best and I'm going to, it could be pray for them. It could be believe that at some point they'll figure it out and they'll get it that you're putting germs out in the air that are harmful. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Instead
Yeah.
of fearing that what they're doing is going to harm me and other people.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the thing. Because therein lies the judgment. Like,
Mhm.
damn them.
Damn them, because it's like, I know you should know better, or I know that you have access to the same information, or that you are making a choice to be willfully ignorant. It's like, nah, no, 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 no. They're just making a choice.
That's it.
Whatever the choice is, they're just making a choice.
Right.
So
And their choice
don't
is not our choice.
no. So
Mhm.
right. So in that is trying to work on, yes, not being judgmental, but also
Mhm.
trying to cultivate the safest space for myself
Mhm.
possible.
That's it. That's all
Um,
you have.
yeah. Yeah. But I think also when I say safe spaces, it's also about making sure that I'm mentally safe
Mhm.
and not entering back into psychological contracts with people who are going to make me unsafe or going to
Right.
make me unstable
Right.
or going to harm me in some way,
Right.
shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I think it's also that is figuring out um how to I was looking at this as I think it's Black Girls Who Manifest, and we still gotta do a whole episode on manifesting, but it was like, don't go back to old emotions and figuring out that you don't have to go back to the same places to reignite those same emotions. I'm I guess because we're coming up on a year of everything that happened last year. I mean, today is January 6th.
Mhm.
Yikes.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
thinking about how I felt on January 6th, watching everything that was happening January 6th, and
Mhm.
how mentally unstable that was making me feel, and
Right.
how unstable our country was, and things like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then thinking of what all the days that were coming and all the emotions that came from that.
Mhm.
I don't want to go back to that, but I'm also paying attention to making sure that I put a boundary up so I don't go back to that.
Exactly. What are you
So,
doing? What kind of boundary are you putting up?
um, how I communicate and who I communicate with would be
Mhm.
one thing. And then really being honest with myself about what I want
Yes.
and how I
Yes.
how I want to get whatever it is that I want.
I love it. That's the thing. So as you
Yeah.
put that in motion, therein lies the manifest. You set it in motion and it becomes a thing because you're
Okay.
thinking about it and you're bringing it about.
Can I ask you, like, how how do boundaries work without isolation? Because that's
Mhm.
for me, boundaries feel more physical than they do metaphorical.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I don't like the feeling of isolation, but
Okay.
I also don't have like a happy medium of, okay, I have a boundary about this thing,
Mhm.
so I can't like interact with these people or I can't do this.
Mhm.
It's a lot of can'ts when I see a boundary or when
I
I feel a
right.
boundary. Do you
Right.
hear me in
I
that
hear
saying
oh
that?
yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
Okay.
And so I'll use a boundary like to say I'm not or put it this way. I'll deal with people who are kind. Just throwing
Okay.
this out there. I really want to be around people who are kind, right?
Mhm.
So then if I run across someone who says unkind things,
Mhm.
maybe I might question them and ask them, "Hey, what's going on? Did you know that what you're saying is unkind?" Right?
Mhm.
And then they might say, "Oh, wow, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me." Or they could say, "I don't give a fuck." Right? And as soon as they come out their mouth with that, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay,
Right.
duly noted." And
Yeah.
I move on because then I'm not in their space anymore because they let me know they don't care about being kind. It's not
Mhm.
it's not important to them about being kind. So I'm going to choose to do differently. And so we can take the can'ts out and we can look at what you desire. And that's a boundary as well. Like
Okay.
I choose to drink spring water.
Mhm.
That's a boundary. So if somebody comes to bring me tap water, like,
Right. Well, thank you.
no, no, thank you. You see
Mm-mm.
what I'm saying? That's your boundary, right?
Yeah.
Or like, for instance, you might be in a no slap zone. Like,
Mhm.
don't slap me, I ain't gonna slap you. You
Right.
slap me, I can't fuck with you. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's your boundary.
Right.
I'm in this slap free zone, right?
Right.
And so that's and so based on what I'm saying, what are you getting from that?
It I'm getting that having a boundary is kind of isolating in a way because you start shedding and losing interactions. But I have to look at it in this aspect of instead of it's just a whole bunch of losses, a whole bunch of L's like we talked about, it's making space for the right thing for me.
Thank yes. If we think about
I'm reanimating that. I'm rebranding that.
because
Okay.
if we think about the loss is like, oh, I'm shedding. Yeah, you are shedding. You are
Mm,
shedding shit that don't work for you. And
right.
you're asking for what you desire. And
Yeah.
so you're not necessarily asking to be alone, unless you're
Right.
asking to be alone, but you're
No.
asking for better. You're asking for peace. You're asking for comfort. You're asking for, I think you mentioned earlier, safe. You desire
Mhm.
to be safe. So you're putting yourself in a community of safety.
Yeah.
You see what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
honestly, yeah. Yeah. I guess where the hesitation was before I just literally figured this out in real time, the hesitation was, "Oh, no, I'm gonna be alone because I'm gonna
Right.
lose however many people because of not feeling safe around them." But
But you're
it's like,
gonna
"No,
gain.
there's new people coming." I always feel
Hmm.
like there's new people coming.
Yeah.
There has to be space for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just realizing that I'm making room for what does work for me makes
Yes.
more sense. It does.
Which
It makes a lot more sense.
right, which also says I can't be concerned. I love these people or whatever, but I can't
Mhm.
be concerned that I'm gonna lose them
Right.
or stay. You see what I'm saying? Like if that's the
Mhm.
case, if you don't want to lose them, you have a choice still.
Okay.
You cannot go through door A. You can stay in at door B. It's your
Mhm.
choice. But then is there any regret? Is there any feeling of loss?
Right.
Like you because again, some in our choosing, there will be a leaving,
Right.
right? And they can come with you. If they want to.
Right.
So it's up to
It's
them.
a choice, right? It's a choice. Like, do you feel like boundaries look different in different relationships?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
parent to child and siblings or marriages or friendships? Like how do boundaries, because I guess you can't have necessarily the same boundary with everybody, or can you?
Well, the boundary could be the same the whole way. Like I'll use
Okay.
slap zone. I'll stay in that
Uh-huh.
space. I don't put my hands on people, right? Like I'm not trying
Right.
to harm anybody, right?
Mhm.
But then you might have a child, like say you have 3 children.
Mhm.
One child will continually try the boundary, whereas maybe the other 2 are like, "I'm not gonna harm either, mom. You know,
Mhm.
I heard what you said, whatever, whatever." But the other one's like, "Mom, I slapped Tommy today. I slapped little Jimmy today." Like, cause they hit me, cause there's this justification for what like
Right.
a reason to try to push the boundary.
Mhm.
There is a justification for it. Any excuse will do.
Right.
But are
Okay.
you gonna listen? Are you gonna find a way to honor the boundary, or are you not?
Right. Okay.
And so yeah, they're going to look different to different people in different relationships because of the people's personality, their point of
Mhm.
view, their perspective, like, you know, and you only can manage. You can't make somebody honor your boundary. You can't make them,
Yeah.
you know.
So this goes back to, like, the whole COVID thing. Like, I can't make anybody feel this the same way I feel it.
Right. Like we can't make people wear a mask. That's a
No, I
boundary in
can't make
itself.
people
Right.
do anything.
Right. Right.
Nothing.
Right. And so
So, yeah.
I was in the movies watching Avatar with my daughter the other day,
Mhm,
and this lady and her daughter were next to me, and I don't wear a mask, right?
mhm,
And I ain't tripping, and I ain't tripping about other people wearing masks, right? But the girl started coughing and her mama did too. And it was one of those congestive coughs, like you could hear
mm-mm,
like a little bit of phlegm come up in the cough. I said, I'll be damned. I'm right here next to them. And see, for me, right, that's my judgment came up like,
mhm.
bitch, why? If you and your daughter got a little cold, why
See,
y'all
but do you
not
see
wearing
what I'm
masks?
saying?
Right,
Do you
right,
see what I'm saying?
right. So what I did was I just pulled my shirt up over my nose.
Mhm.
Now, did that keep me from her cough? I don't know. I felt
It
safe
it
though.
did something. It
I
did
felt
something.
I felt better. I liked the way my shirt smelled. I was trying to find ways like, listen, this is okay. This is Laura, you gonna be all right. This
Yeah.
woman is disrespectful. And I was telling my daughter that because she kind of giggled at me because she just kind of I saw her, she's like, Mom, you tripping. But and then what happened, which is again what you think about, you bring about.
Mhm,
Later on, I heard other people coughing and other people. And so that's the whole point. If I
mhm.
dismissed that
Yeah,
whole thing and immediately said, I'm good. I'm going to be
yeah.
okay. I'm fortified. I've taken my vitamins. I'm healed. I'm okay. Like if I were to Lori focus on the movie. You see what I'm saying? I allowed
Mm,
myself to focus on them, and then what I did was attract all coughing. And I
mhm.
did. I attracted all the coughing. And so again, kind of we I digressed a little bit, but the whole point is when you have boundaries, everybody's not going to respect them. And you
Yeah,
can't make people, but what you can do is you can manage yourself. That's
yeah.
that's the best you can do.
So I would have run out. That's just me. Um, okay, I'll give you a case in
Oh
point.
my goodness.
Um, we went we ordered food, and so I got out of the car to go in the restaurant to pick up the food, and I would say I was at the door,
Mhm.
and I took a deep breath because I always do, like, before I
Mhm.
go in a place, and I said, "Wait a minute, that breath was just a little bit too clear. Wait a sec." I didn't have my mask on. I just got out the car, bopped out. I
Look
turned
at you.
immediately around,
And
went
went
back to the
back.
car,
Uh-huh.
and Drew rolled the window down. I said, "Look at my face. What's the problem?" And he's like, "Are you okay? What's I?" And I said, "Look at me." And he was like, "Oh my God, where's your mask?"
That is
So
so
put a
funny.
mask because for me,
Mhm.
I I can't get in everybody's environment. Mm-mm,
Right.
mm-mm.
And
And I
again,
was going
that's
in a place also that was like a bar-ish,
okay.
so they had
Okay.
hookah and like I would have had asthma attack.
Oh
So
no.
it wasn't even COVID for me. It was
Mhm.
I was gonna stop breathing.
Right.
So, I had
Right.
to think about situations like that also
Mhm.
all the time, which is again, I gotta work on, like, don't judge.
Right.
People are doing hookah in a pandemic. It's
Right.
okay. It's okay, self.
Let me tell you, I'm glad you said that because the other end is possible too. Because they could be
Okay.
judging you as well to say, this
Mhm.
lady,
Yeah.
what's
When I
going
walked
on
in,
with her?
people looked at me
Uh,
absolutely crazy.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely crazy people were looking at me like, "You came to a bar where they do hookah with a mask on. Like, what is wrong with you?"
What did you get from there?
Mexican food, it was great. The food the food had a
Oh my
tinge of
god.
hookah to it, but it was good.
Girl, you know
So
what? I, and see again, I'm not gonna judge. You know what I mean? Because
right, but you
we
have to,
just
like I have to tell myself not to judge.
but you know what I have told myself? You can laugh.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah,
learning to laugh my ass off because it keeps me from going low, right?
yeah.
Into deep into a judgment. Because some
Mhm.
things are comical.
Yeah.
And it lightens the load for you to lift it back up to say everybody has a choice.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to do what they want to do. Allow her to come in here with her mask. If she feels safe, that's
Mhm.
fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't change my day. It doesn't make me um lose my shit because she has a
Mhm.
mask on her face. Like, what?
Yeah. I
So,
think, another part of, like, in the judgment and what I'm practicing also is that it's got a tinge of jealousy to it too. And I know it
mm,
and I admit it. Um, I'm a little jealous that people, like, are out living their life.
mm,
I'm a little jealous that people are like, "What pandemic?"
yeah.
Or the people who, like, 100% don't believe in it, think it's fake. Like,
Hmm.
damn, that would be nice to
Well,
just, like,
you
free will
can.
it.
You
Yeah, I
can.
won't.
But
I
and
won't.
okay, and so that's I'm glad you said that too, because now you get to choose whether to be jealous or not. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because you don't have to
Yeah.
be. You know,
No.
this is your lane that you desire to be in. But you can also go and hang out with them. It's up to you. You
Yeah.
know, maybe try it one day, try it 2 days, come back, try it. It's putting on different hats to see if it fits, and
Mhm.
that way you don't have to be jealous because
Mm.
their life ain't no better than yours. It's just
Okay.
not. It's just they happen to do this thing, but then there's some other things they might be jealous about with you.
Oh, okay, I get what
You
you're
you see what
saying.
I'm saying? It's just in
Yeah.
this space that they could give a two shits about COVID. And part of me,
Yeah.
I could give two shits about COVID too. Like until somebody coughed next to me,
See,
and
but
then
then,
I'm
like,
like,
how do you do both? You gotta just be like, "No, I still don't care. I still don't care. I
I
still don't
have
care."
to. You right. I have to remind
Yeah.
myself. But I go into but even before COVID, biatch,
Yeah.
not to be coughing around folk.
So
You
this
know
is
how
me.
to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's still like and even with that, I still have to let it go, but I'm just saying where I am as far
Mhm.
as how people show up. You just cough out here in these damn streets like
Mhm.
you can, like I'm privileged,
Yeah.
and here these other people are covering their faces. But
Mhm.
but again, even with that, I have to bring it down and remember everybody doesn't think like me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's where I go, honey, they're in their own world. If somebody coughs out in front of them, they might get pissed because sometimes people think that they can do, but they don't want other people to do. That's the
Yes.
tinge of narcissism that floats in the air, you know.
Mhm.
And so I have to understand that we live in this world full of empaths and narcissists and their variations of the two. And there's
Mhm.
only two types of people who do good and people who don't. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And there are variations of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
people who are aware and people who are unaware. And there are
Right.
variations of the two. You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Definitely. There are definitely 2 different types of people.
uh-huh.
And I get that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got one more question before we, like, try to figure out if we're gonna wrap this up. So, in your safe space, like, what does your safe space look like, Lori? Like,
Well,
and in
define
your
it.
safe okay, that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
What does your safe space look like? And then do you have different language in each safe space? Like, the safe space that you have at your home
Mhm.
versus when you were working in your office, was that, like, a certain kind of safe space? Or do you have a safe space when you are out in the world? Like, when you were
Mhm.
in the movie theater, how do you have a safe space outside of the environment that you control, basically? Like, how do you keep your safe space? And then how do you speak in that safe space?
Well, I want to kind of make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from as far as safe space is concerned. So give me an
Mhm.
idea or an example what you would say a safe space is for you.
So, I'll just say for me, like, my home is a safe space to me. Like,
Mhm.
I know when I cut this off, I'm completely, like, just calm and chill and
Mhm.
not worried
Mhm.
about, like, are my glasses reflecting and, like, things
Okay.
like that. Like,
Okay.
I mean, for the most part, I this is me.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
um, I think I think my language is a lot more colorful than it is. Even though I cuss on here,
Mhm.
I cuss a lot more, when the
Really?
microphone's
Oh, okay. So that's cool. Okay, I
All
see
the
what you're saying.
emphasis.
Okay.
All the
So,
emphasis. I might be
ah,
Samuel L. Jackson when we cut this off.
oh,
So,
wow. I didn't know
yeah,
that, Sylvia. That's
I cuss
awesome.
a lot, a lot, a lot. Um,
That's
I
that's
don't know, something like the N-word
mhm.
is not uncommon.
I hear you. I hear you.
So and some people are, like, very hesitant about that, and I
Mhm.
mean, I get it. So it's like, it's
Mhm.
not something I would say on here,
I hear you.
but turn this microphone off.
I feel you.
It's
I
gonna
get what
happen.
right, right.
So,
I get it.
um,
And I'm not
yeah,
mad at it, right?
okay.
Because that's where you live, you know?
Right.
Right. There's some space, safe spaces that I have because of my family. So I think it's a
Mhm.
family thing too. But
Okay.
I'll give a couple of them. Like one of my safe spaces is my hat. I got a lot of
Okay.
them. I love them. If I feel good, I feel like Sasha Fierce kind of thing. Like
Okay.
I don't have
Okay.
to be so poised and
Mhm.
elegant and
Right.
formal. I think informal is my safe space, right?
Mine
So
too.
right,
Mine absolutely mine too. I totally
right,
get that.
yeah. So a sweatshirt, some jeans,
Mhm.
some sneakers without socks.
Yes. Hello?
that's a that's a safe space
Yes.
for me, right?
Yes.
Another safe space is to kind of hang with my crew. Like that crew could be me and Tommy chilling, or
Mhm.
I'm hanging out with my sister, or I'm here at the house and I'm just playing some cards. Like that's a safe
Mhm.
space. Or if I'm out in public, um, hmm, just like I said, with my hat on, my sweatshirt, and just kind of maybe in the summertime, I got my sunglasses on, kind of incognito,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Or I'm in certain areas where, like I'm on the belt line, or I'm in like Midtown, or some of the like areas where I know a lot of the people are like who I am.
Okay.
That's a safe space, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like that.
So different things can be safe spaces and different places can be safe spaces.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then certain conversations too, like you saying that you use your cussing and your language or
Mhm.
whatever. Like my language is my language too. Like I just sometimes I might cuss, sometimes I might not. It just
Mhm.
varies because when I'm working with clients, I feel them out
Right.
because
Okay.
I wanna get into their lingo, right?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to really press mine, but if they
Right.
cuss, Imma cuss with them. If they don't,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cuss, you know?
Mhm.
So so that's how I am. I really jump in and jump out of people's spaces, and, but that's how I've been taught to do. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, but at
It's
home, I'm just chilling, and maybe I'm not even wearing halfway nothing, like a muumuu or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
That's real safe, like, for me, like,
Mhm.
I'm so chill, like, I wear a partial because I'm in the process of getting these crowns for my implants.
Mhm.
Imma take that damn bitch out, like,
I
I'm
know that's
taking that
right.
partial out, like, I don't wanna
Yeah.
be constrained. So that's a safe space for me, taking all the constraints off, take my shoes off, take my socks off,
Mhm.
put some flip-flops on.
Right.
I
Yeah.
and I think that's what you're speaking of, right? Like, the
Yes,
safe. Mhm.
it was, like, that you can have a safe space within yourself, or you can have your safe space outside of your bubble. You just
Mhm.
wherever you go, you make it safe for yourself is what I was kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
asking, and yeah, you definitely answered that because I get now, yeah, how I dress and how
Mhm.
I like things to be comfortable and how my house is set up, and, like,
Mhm.
people come over and it's like, "Okay, well, obviously, you can't wear your shoes in our house." Like, that's just it's been a rule forever.
Mhm.
But if you came to our house, you would realize, like, you don't wanna wear your shoes. Like, you
Mhm.
you'd wanna kick them off and, like, sit back and, like, chill at our house.
Right. Right.
Front yard, backyard, in the house at all. Just it's just a shoeless situation. I don't know. Um, yes, I will have on some pajamas. It will be a
Yeah.
house dress. It's going to
Right.
happen. I will put my overalls over my house dress to go outside and look at the garden. Like, it's going
That's what
to
I'm talking
happen.
about. Right.
It's going to
That's
happen.
so yes, I love it.
I'm gonna be comfortable. I think that became such a safe space for me from working in schools for so
Mhm.
long, and the
Mhm.
schools wanted you to be suit and tie, like, buttoned up, and I would be like, "I'm dealing with chemicals," or,
Right.
"We have little kids, like, why would I be buttoned up?" And these are, like, little kids that have germs or that,
Mhm.
whatever. You're going to get
Mhm.
messy. So it'd
Mhm.
always be like it would be like a prerequisite question in their interview for me if I was changing schools. I would say,
Mhm.
like, "Do you guys wear jeans? And not
Right.
on Fridays only?"
Right. Right.
And, I've been in schools where it's like you had to pay to wear jeans on Friday.
Child.
And it was only Friday, and it was only certain Fridays, certain things like
Mhm.
that, and it's just like, this is so uncomfortable, and I realized back then that when I was uncomfortable, I couldn't work. I wasn't
Right.
productive, and the
Mhm.
more comfortable I could dress, the more I was like, "Let's do this, let's get in here, like,
Mhm.
let's
Right.
interact," all those things. So even,
Mhm.
yeah, down to how you dress would change the safe space.
Right.
And then doing it without judgment, because I don't care if you wanna
Exactly.
be buttoned up. That's on
Right.
you.
Right, because I can't determine how life is comfortable for you. And
Right.
I'm glad you said that, Sylvia. I think if we took a little bit of judgment off
Mhm.
and let us just shine in the way we shine. Like
Yeah.
I love the safe space for black women to wear their hair naturally.
Oh my
That's an
god.
awesome ass safe
Absolutely.
space and having that crown act take place.
Yeah.
Don't f- don't fucking judge me about my hair.
Yeah.
Like
And
stop.
please, we have to stop doing it to each other. I think the worst
Yes.
thing is going around family, friends, or whoever, and them saying, "Well, what are you gonna do with your hair?" This is how I'm doing my hair. Like, it's
And
choice.
sometimes, and I'm just gonna tell everybody, listen, if somebody asks you some questions about your hair and you're like, that's some fuck shit, you don't have to answer them. You
No.
don't. Like, look
No.
at them. Just look at them.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
they need to start recognizing, close your dang on mouth. Like for real,
Yes.
close your mouth. If you don't have anything good to say, be quiet. If you don't want to wear your hair in locks, don't wear your hair in locks. If you don't
Mhm.
want to wear your hair short, don't.
Right.
But I'm gonna wear my hair short. Or
Yeah.
if you're gonna perm your hair, perm your hair. I'm not saying nothing about your hair being permed. Don't say
Mm.
nothing about my kinky. You know,
Mhm.
and so that's the whole point, and we can live in harmony because
Yeah.
ultimately we really live in our own bubbles. And we
Yep.
come out and interact with folk who live in their own bubbles. And so how you show up is how you show up. And I pray that you ain't trying to harm because I'm over here not trying to harm. You know,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
want to take care of myself and really be respectful of others. And ultimately, if we can do that, we cooking, honey. We over
Yeah.
here doing the daggone thing,
Yeah.
and
And it would just be so much easier.
absolutely, we wouldn't have so much. We wouldn't have that J6 shit, that January 6th. Like we wouldn't
Nope.
have that because people would be in their lane, loving on themselves
Yeah.
and then loving others.
Yeah.
If you loving on yourself and you loving others, there ain't no judgment in that. There ain't no
And
judgment in love.
I don't think I'll end with this. I don't think that you could easily be brainwashed into doing something like an insurrection on the United States government if you were loving on yourself and loving on others.
Exactly. That's a lot of self-hatred going on. And
I don't
all
think
of
that you could.
and it's a group of them. It's a group of people
Yeah.
who hate themselves and they trying to overthrow that, the government
Mhm.
or trying to harm other people because they're hurting. So you
Yeah.
know what hurt people do. They're hurt.
Hurt people. Oof. All right. Well, this was very interesting. I still think there's like more to this topic that I probably will have questions about later. But thank you again for another awesome episode. And
Hey.
thanks for
Yes.
listening, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Have a good one.
All right.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better?
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at whatsbeenbetterpodcast.
Thanks for listening.